Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Here I'm your science teacher, Ms. Raja Siddiqui from Muhammadi Girls Secondary School. Today is our third class of online session. And as you all know that in the last two classes, we have completed our chapter 1 and now we are going to start our second chapter, that is Unit 2, that belongs to Unit 2, and the name of this chapter is Living Organism. But before moving forward, I would like to instruct you that please make sure the availability of your science book, notebook, and pencil along with you. This will help you to understand this session, right? Take the screenshot of every slide which will be shared over here during this session. Try to not raise your hand during the session, or if you have any question, write the question in your notebook and ask me in the question answer session. Okay, I hope you all are following these instructions. Now, let's start properly. Today's topic name is living organism. So firstly, we need to share the objectives. Today, inshallah, you all are able to define living things and define cell and explain cell structure and its organelles. You all can differentiate between plant and animal cell. Define types of roots with example. Describe root system and shoot system. Define tissue, organ and organ system. So today, inshallah, we will try to achieve all these objectives. That's why I need your full attention and concentration. Please observe all the session keenly and behave like a little scientist. Okay. First of all, as today's topic name is living thing, we should know what is living thing. There are some processes which are mostly showed by the organism to call them as a living thing. And what are these? Let me share. All living things have ways to taking in the substances that they need to grow and survive. What does it mean? Actually, it means that the food, all living things take food and get energy from this food and grow and survive in this world. So, organisms or living things must show this way to getting food, for taking energy, and by using this energy they can grow and survive. And what other things? They respond to sound, light and touch. They receive information in different ways, such as by hearing, seeing, smelling or sensing. Okay. Firstly, observe in the picture. In the center picture, you observe a bird feeding its ward or its chick, right? What is this? Actually, it gives its child a food for getting energy. This energy will help to grow this chick into bird, right? And in the other picture, you observe the picture of 5 senses. By these 5 senses, we as a living organism, as a human being, we receive information from the surroundings. We hear the sound by our ear, we seeing something in the environment by our eye, we smelling the smell of flower or anything by our nose or sensing, right? So, living organisms respond to sound, light and touch by using their senses. As You respond to my sound. You are trying to understand what am I saying, or you are following the instruction which I gave you. That's why you take your box, your notebook, because by this you respond to my sound. Okay, it is example of living organism or the human being. If I give you the example of the responses in plants, yes, plants do not have sense organ like us, like the ear or nose. They don't have it, but they also have chemicals, and by these chemicals, they respond. And how they respond? Uh, if we touch the leaves of touch me not, or we can say the mimosa plant. The scientific name of touch me not is the mimosa. So if we touch the leaf of mimosa plant, within a minute, these leaves getting closed. So they show the response on the touch. The sunflower moved towards the sunlight. So it shows responses by the light. Okay. Okay, as we know that plants have different ways to respond, or animals or human beings have different ways to respond, but both they respond. One more thing, which is common in all living things, that all living things reproduce, right? In the first one picture, you observe a sheep with its kid, right? How? Actually, when they reproduce, it means that they make copies of themselves by the process which is called reproduction. And by the reproduction, they survive. They continue their life. They prevent their existence. Okay, so these things means taking in food, growth, response to the response accordingly, or response to the environment changes in the environment, and they reproduce. These are the important things which we found in living organisms. Okay, and the things they show these ways, so we call them as a living thing. Either they are very small or very large. Next, what is cell? Yes, cells. What is this? As we learn that which type of behavior are observed in the thing to call them as a living thing. Now, living thing have most important feature that they all are made up of cell. Maybe by one cell or by any other cell. More than one cell. Maybe one cell or by more than one cell. So we can say the cells are the building block. Cells are the unit. Now I am reading what is written over here, that all living things are made up of cell. Cells are living things that feed, reproduce, and react to their surroundings. Some living things are made up of just one cell called unicellular. Example, amoeba. Means we as a human being are very huge, and we can easily be observed by our naked eye, so we are the multicellular. So we are the multicellular, but there are some organisms which are called unicellular because they are made up of only one cell. And the example is amoeba. Here we show the picture of amoeba for your clear understanding. Means the living organism body is made up of cell, either one cell or more than one cell. And every cell show the behaviors which we have shared in our previous slide, or we can say they show all the living cells can feed, can reproduce, can react their surrounding, can grow and reproduce, right? Okay, some living things are made up of just one cell called unicellular, example amoeba, but in human body there are millions of cells. That's why we call, or the human being called, multicellular. But either in unicellular or in multicellular, we conclude that cells are the building block of living thing. Every cell in multicellular must get food, must grow, must reproduce, must react to their surrounding. Okay, that's why we can say the cells are the building block or the unit of living thing. If we take one cell of any living thing and observe it, so all the features we found in this cell, which we found in the whole body of living thing. Okay, I think it is clear to you. Now, next, as we observe that, as we understand that cells feed, reproduce, and react. But how? How they reproduce, how they feed. So, cells have some cell structure, right? And what are these structures? These common structure. The common cell structure, which is found in every living thing, is that all cells have a round or oval nucleus. And this round or oval nucleus is surrounded by gel-like substance. This gel-like substance called cytoplasm. Okay? And both the cytoplasm and the both the nucleus and the cytoplasm, both are enclosed within a very thin skin known as cell membrane. Right? Means all type of living things, they are made up of cells, and cell of every living thing have nucleus, and this nucleus inside the cytoplasm. So the nucleus and cytoplasm both are enclosed in a cell membrane, right? So the nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, these are called the cell structure. Okay, the jelly-like substance. Cytoplasm has a jelly-like substance. So what is present in the cytoplasm? Why is it made up of jelly-like substance or look like the jelly-like substance? Actually, cytoplasm contain important substances such as oil droplets, starch, water, salt, and excretory matter. Because these things give the cells the energy or the growth, or sometimes need to expel some material as excretory matter. One more thing, that cytoplasm also contain very small structures, and these structures are called organelles. These organelles are very important and they perform important functions such as respiration, excretion, cell division, or you can say the reproduction. Okay, mainly the nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell membrane are called the cell structure, and some other tiny structure which is present in the cytoplasm, they are called organelles. These organelles perform important functions, and every organelle has perform a specific function. That's why they have a specific name. For example, mitochondria. Mitochondria is found in the cytoplasm, is floating in the cytoplasm, and mitochondria are round or elongated. We can say the bean-like structure. This organelle, mitochondria, help the cell in respiration. Means cell respire by the mitochondria, or we can say mitochondria mainly responsible for the cell respiration, or we can say cellular respiration. Another organelle, that is the Golgi bodies, they make special secretion just like the oil droplets. Chloroplast, another cell organelle, it is found only in the plant, and this chloroplast trap the energy of sunlight, or we can say trap the sunlight and use this sunlight energy for the process of photosynthesis. So, and vacuole. Vacuole is the space filled by a liquid or solid sugar and salt solution. So, it is called the cell. Okay, I hope you understand and try to grasp because they have a lot of information. So, that's why I told you I need your full concentration. When you concentrate here and you try to understand, then you are easily understand. And one more thing, please write a note in your notebook because writing in the form of notes will very help you to recall these, to memorize all these things. Vacuole is a space which is filled with the fluid, right? And vacuole is also present in the cytoplasm. That's why vacuole is an organism. Now, the cell structure nucleus. Nucleus contain rod shape, very small, very microscopic. These rod-like or thread-shaped structure and these thread-like structure called chromosome. These chromosomes are very important for the process of reproduction. These chromosomes made up of nucleic acid and DNA. I think you heard the term DNA. Actually, these DNA and nucleic acid had the coded information. And these coded information the cell receives from its parents. Right? When the cell born, it has nucleus, and inside its nucleus it also contains the chromosome. These chromosomes have the information from their parents. Now, when this cell grow and mature, and then it divide, so the information from the cell is transferred to the new generation or the new one in the form of DNA, in the form of this coded information. That's why nucleus play important role, or we can say the chromosome play very important role in the cell division or in the process of reproduction. During reproduction, chromosome transfer information from parents to the offspring. That's why the chick of hen is very much alike with its parents. Okay. It is a cell structure and its organelles. Nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane is the main cell structure which is found in every type of living organism, and the cytoplasm contain organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, vacuole, nucleus, chromosome, DNA in all type of living things, and chloroplast is found only in the plants. Now here, as I told you, the chloroplast is present in the plant cell. One more thing is also present only in the plant cell, not in the animal cell. And as we know that plant is very much different by appearance with the animals. Plant is very much different by the appearance with the animal. Plant cannot walk like the animals, but animal can. Plant cannot chew the food like the animals, but animal can. So why they have these differences? Here we are going to share the differences between plant cell and animal cell. Here you observe the picture of animal cell and plant cell. You can easily find the difference, their shape. The most important thing that a cell wall is absent in animal cell. We didn't learn in previous slide about the cell wall because mostly cell wall is not present in animal cell or any other living thing. But this hard cell wall is present in the plant cell. This cell wall is made up of cellulose and it surrounds the cell. It is the outermost layer of the cell. This cell wall give the proper shape to the plant cell, which is almost rectangular. Are you getting? I hope. Okay, and cytoplasm is present between the nucleus and the cell membrane in animal cell. As you observe in the picture, the nucleus is present in the center in animal cell, and cytoplasm is present between the cell membrane and the nucleus. While what we observe in the plant cell, we observe that a large vacuole containing cell sap, a solution of salt and sugar. Cell sap, what is cell sap? Actually, cell sap is a solution of salt and sugar. This cell sap is present in the vacuole, and this vacuole is in the middle of cell. As you observe, a large vacuole is present in the center of the cell, and the nucleus is pushing towards the cell membrane. Okay, and another difference is we observe in the previous slide, we observed small dot like ribosomes are present, and one more thing, small vacuoles are present. Okay, there are some small vacuoles like the ribosome and some small vacuoles, many vacuoles. As we observe a large vacuole in the plant cell, but we did not observe a large vacuole in the animal cell, because in the animal cell, small vacuoles are present in the cytoplasm, which is floating, right? Now, chlorophyll is present in the structures called chloroplast, and they help in the photosynthesis. This chlorophyll is absent. This chlorophyll is absent in animals. Okay. The main difference: plant cell has cell wall, plant cell has large central vacuole, plant cell has chlorophyll, and all these three things is absent in animal cell. Okay, these are the differences between plant cell and animal cell. That's why in the appearance the plant and animal are different. Now, okay, I hope you all are taking the screenshot of slides. Now we are moving to the next slide, that is the root system in plant and kinds of food. Yes, firstly, root system. Let me share. We can divide plant in two systems, root system and shoot system. Root system is present in the ground and shoot system is present above the ground. And the root, which is present inside the ground, it holds the plant firmly in the soil. Or we can say root fix the plant in the soil. Are you getting? And there are two kinds of root which we are going to learn: the tap root and the adventitious root. Sorry, the tap root and the fibrous root. Yes, some kind of plant have one large main root called tap root. Okay, and with several small roots branching off from it, just like the carrot and radish. As you observe the carrot and radish, you remember that in the carrot and in the radish, the main root, the carrot and radish actually is the main root, and very thin roots arising from it. These are the branches which are giving off or branching off from the main root. And this is the structure, the root system, that root has the root hairs at the tip. It is the root cap, right? It is the root cap. We will learn about root cap in the next slide, inshallah. So, you know, there is a root cap is present. Root cap is present at the tip of the root to protect it, because maybe it can damage by the resistance of the sand particles. That's why the root is protected by the root cap or the root tip, right? Yes, some kinds of plants have many main roots about the same size called fibrous root, as you observe in the picture. This picture will help you to clear these two kinds of root, that the fibrous root are found in some kind of plant which have main root and number of main roots, many main roots that arise in the same size just next to the stem, right? So you can observe here in the picture, my cursor is moving around the fibrous root, and from the fibrous root, many small roots branch off. Here you can observe the small branches that arising from the fibrous root. The example of fibrous root is, yes, onion. Okay, note it down. The example of fibrous root is onion and grass. Onion and grass. The picture, this picture having the fibrous root is the picture of grass, and the carrot, the turnip, the radish, these are and the beetroot, all these have the tap root, the main root which store food in them. This main root is thick and small branches arising from it. So this is the tap root. A thick root cap at the end, protecting the sensitive growing part of the root tip. Okay, as I told you previously, this is the root cap is covered the sensitive part, root tip, because root tip is responsible for the growth of the plant in the ground, right? When the root grow deep in the ground by the help of root tip. This is the root system. Now, the shoot system. The shoot system means the part of plant which grow above the soil. And what part of plant we observe? We observe the branches, the leaves, the stem, the fruit, the flower. All these things are the part of shoot system. So the stem and its branches. The stem and its branches along with the leaf system make up the shoot system. Why we said the leaf system? Actually, leaf has its own system for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, the stem and its branches along with the leaf system make up the shoot system, or we can say all the plant part above the ground make the root system. If the stem remains short with lots of branches, it is called shrub. Okay, the small plants just like the rose plant, the coriander, the mint plant, these are the shrubs because their stem is soft, short, delicate and having too much branches, right? So these type of plants are called shrubs. And we also observe the tall plants which have thick stem. So the plants, tall plants with thick stems, they are called trees. It means we can divide the plant into shrub and trees by the soft stem, due to the soft stem and thick stem. And leaves are attached to the stem at the nodes. The leaves arising from the stem, so the area from the leaves are arising is called nodes. And stem growing area which is called the bud, right? The stem connect the root. Buds may give rise to branch of the stem or produce flower. And the stem connects the root to leaf. It helps to transport raw material for photosynthesis and the product of photosynthesis to all parts of the plant. Yes, it is a function of stem. Yes, as I told you that leaves are attached to the stem at the node. So stem grow from specialized growing structure called buds, right? Stems grow from the specialized growing structure. This is called the bud. This is the first point. And bud may give rise, not only the stem. So buds may give rise into branches of the stem. Not a single stem or main thick stem, but these buds also responsible to give rise the branches of the stem. And at the tip of these branches, the flowers can be produced. Means buds are mainly responsible for the growth of the shoot system. And stem connect the root underground part, or we can say the root system. The stem is make the connection between the root and the leaves. So we can say the stem connects the root to the leaves. This stem help to transport raw material from root to the leaves for the process of photosynthesis. And after the process of photosynthesis, the product of photosynthesis, we can say the starch. So it also helps to transport the starch to all parts of the plant. Okay. Yes. A group. Now here, what we learned, the root system and the shoot system in plants, right? The living thing, plant is a living thing, and we learn the root system with the types of root, and we learn the shoot system in plants. Now we are moving the tissue. What is tissue? Actually, tissue is a group of cells which are specialized to perform particular function. Right? Tissue is not only found in plants, but it also found in animals. So the number of cells which perform the same function, they make a group, and this group is called tissue. In plants, the example is the vascular tissue. This vascular tissue is used for transporting food and water in the plant. Means inside the plant, the food is moving from leaf to the root or the other parts, and water is moved from root to the upper part of the plant by the vascular tissues. Similarly, the muscle tissues. Muscle tissue is used for the movement in animals. This muscular tissue is not found in the plants, but this type of tissue is found in the animals which can move. Right? The group of muscle cells combine together to make a tissue and known as the muscle tissue, and they help for the movement of plants. Organs, different types of tissues grouped together to form organs. An organ is a specialized to perform a particular function in the body. For example, heart. Heart is an organ which pumps the blood to all parts of the body. The leaf of a plant is an organ which prepare for the food for the whole plant. Here you observe the different pictures of organ like the liver, the stomach, the heart, the brain, the alimentary canal, the kidney, and so on. And you also observe the variety of leaves over here. Right? So tissues combine together to make organ, and this organ perform particular function. Heart pump the blood, lungs inhale or exhale the oxygen and carbon dioxide, kidney filter the blood, the leaf make the food for the plant. Now, the organ system. The bodies of living organisms are made up of variety of systems, and all these systems perform important function without which the body would not be able to survive. Systems are made up of many organs which work together. As in the previous slide, the stomach, the alimentary canal, the liver, they combine together to make the digestive system in the human being. The kidney make a system of excretory system. The heart, the arteries, and the veins, they make the circulatory system. So these organ systems are developed by the working of many organs together. Right? And when these number of organ systems combine together, they make the organisms. Right. Okay, now it's all about today's learning. Now today's home task. What is? Yes. Define cell and describe cell structure and its organelles with their function. Differentiate between plant cell and animal cell. Define types of food with examples and draw one picture of each. Define the following terms: reproduction, root cap, shrub, and cell set. Take the screenshot of every slide or okay, I will show you the other slides, but take the screenshot of your home task. Now, it's all about from my side for today's lecture. Hope you understand. Thank you. And